Hi friends, I'm Olivia, the Southern Yankee Stitcher, and I am back with a stitching update. It's been about a month since my last video. I tell you, I couldn't put enough time together when I wasn't exhausted to get this video done. So I am getting it done today. I have a lot to share with you. I have some FFOs, I have some finishes, I have whips, I have giveaway winner to announce and a new giveaway, and just really a lot to share with you. And so I thought I would get started today talking about my FFOs. The last retreat I went to was a non-stop stitching retreat in Irmo, South Carolina. And at our table, we were talking about all of us getting together and doing like a finishing workshop to finish some of our pieces. And one of the ladies kindly offered up her home to do that. And I ended up, I couldn't go. Well, I chose not to go. I was having dinner with all my family, and I just felt like family was first. It was a Sunday too. So I chose not to go. I hate I missed it because they did a lot of finishing, I'm told. And if you watch Dottie's video, Dottie the Stitching Scotty, she showed a lot of FFOs. And I know that she probably got some of those done there that day. But while we were talking about it at the retreat, I said, they said, why don't we just do like a flat finish? We'll all do a flat finish. I said, well, I don't really have anything finished that it's ready to be FFO'd into a flat finish. And I said, I really don't have a lot of finishes that aren't fully finished, because when I stitch them, I know what I want to do with them. I said, I know I have two that I was kind of nervous about finishing, but that's all I really have. Well, I may not have an under the bed box. And I wasn't saying it to brag, but maybe I was saying it to brag. I don't know. But I have a beside the sewing machine basket. And when I went to the basket, I didn't find just 2 items that needed to be finished. I found 5. I found 5 things I'd just forgotten about. And so I made it a point to finish all of those a week or so ago. And I want to share those with you today. The, pardon me. Y'all, it's like allergies are kicking up here in South Carolina. We've got, I don't know, trees bloom, I don't know what. But I was outside playing with my grandkids and the dogs Sunday. Today is Tuesday. And ever since then, I've been coughing a lot more. I did have a cold and I got over it, but I think the allergies kicked up again. The first fully finish I did was the Quaker Star Delight set by Jeanette Douglas. I bought this at StitchCon 2023. And if I saw this chart, like so many, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but they have the models there, and the models were awesome. And so I know a couple of people bought this chart at that I knew of personally at StitchCon. Well, one of my table mates bought some 40 count fabric. She was all into doing tiny things. And so her piece had a little section cut out of it. So it kind of had a tail on her fat quarter or whatever she got. And she cut it off and gave it to me. She said, here, try this. Well, I was very slow on the 40 count. And I've shown this to you before in one of my prior videos. It's probably been quite a while, probably a year ago. And, but I did it. It's not my favorite. I mean, I like the piece. Stitching on 40 count's not my favorite. I just don't see well enough. Now, my eye doctors told me I have cataracts, but like they don't need attention right now. But he said, now if these new prescription doesn't help you, come back. So I'm thinking they're probably getting worse. If you just saw a orange blur go by, the cat just jumped up here. But anyway, so I stitched this. I was nervous about it because, y'all, this is how much I had done for like a year. I had it sewn up on 3.5 sides and just kept this little part here open so I could stuff it. I had it stuffed, but then I was nervous because I thought, do I want to do the tufting with the buttons Or do I want, before I close it up, in case I need to put some more stuffing in there, or do I want to close it up and then do the tufting? Well, I asked Dottie about it because she's been finishing and doing things. She's done a lot more finishes than I have, I'll say that. And she said, it's like a biscuit new, you got to finish it all the way and then you do your button. So that's what I did. I finished it all the way and did my buttons. And the back, I believe they had like a Lady Dot velveteen on the back, but I used Week Style Works wool in the color oak. I believe they had this at StitchCon and I bought it. Y'all, I don't know about your cats, but my cats, especially my male cat, if there's anything wool, he will attack it. I've bought small wool pieces from a wool shop to use if I want, because I kind of want to try applique. He got into those. If you can see this bag, it has bite marks and claw marks on it. And this, he tore up before I had it finished a little bit because of the wool. He'll get into other stuff. Trust me, because he's bad. But something about the wool, I guess they could smell the sheep in it. I don't know. But he put a hole in a pull in there, and I just thought I'd probably get a couple buttons and, decorative pins and stick in there so you won't see it. I had this chenille trim on hand because they had chenille trim around theirs. You see there. And I wanted to do it just like that one because that's why I wanted to do it. But this chenille trim I don't know where I got it. I think someone gave it to me, like a chenille yarn. I just felt like it was kind of bulky. And I thought, I want to try and see, like if I'm in a shop, if Lady Dot chenille is a little smaller. I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about it. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And I'm probably going to display this like in a cloche so that even if the cat gets in my craft room where he's not supposed to get, he can't get to it because this was in the craft room when he got it. My wool was in the craft room when he got it. I keep that door closed, but he does the same thing in my bedroom. They're both off limits to cats. And he will hide around the corner where I can't see him. When I open the door, he takes off so fast and goes between my legs and gets in the room. It's incredible what they do. It's just incredible. All right, the next finish I have is also one I've had for a long time. I stitched it last year. It came out of this Winter Spring 1990 Leisure Arts Celebrations Cross Stitch and Crafts magazine. I got this at a thrift store when I first started thrifting again. Can you hear they have a toy? And this was in it. And when I saw the bunny, I really liked him. Now I stitched this, like I said, about a year ago. And when I finished it, I couldn't find the chart. Well, I found it in my basket beside the sewing machine. And, but I had it stitched, but I couldn't show you the chart when I had it all finished. Well, I wanted to make him into a stand-up. For the first time I saw it, I thought, I want to do this in a stand-up. And let me pause and say, I was looking online for some charts. I think I was looking for an alphabet. I'm not sure what I was looking for. Anyway, I saw this exact pattern on someone's website. It's like a free pattern. And I don't know if it's a free pattern or if it's for sale, but it is out there if you really, really want it. You can find it. This is my stand-up bunny. And it's the first stand-up I've done. I just used some fabric, quilt fabric on the back. I cut a piece of sticky board to the bottom, and then I already had this cording in my stash, so I just used it. I thought about doing some other fancier things, but y'all, I watched Mona Pfeiffer's tutorial on stand-ups. a long time ago. Then I watched it again several months ago. Well, while I was in my craft room and I was working on finishing all these things, I thought, I'm going to finish this stand-up. And I thought, I remember how she said to do it. Now, normally, like her cording, I have to watch it every time and do it step by step. Pause the TV, watch it, or pause on my phone, whatever I'm watching it on, to do the cording. But this piece, I did not watch the video because I thought, I remember how she did it. Well, I pretty much did everything she said, except she figured out, you know, her arch, her sizing and everything, and she cut a pattern. This cat is bugging me, playing with stuff. She cut a pattern to cut everything. I did not. So my arch was not great. And I have these little kind of ears up here. So I may just put some pins in there or a bow or something to kind of distract you from it. No, you can't have this. Go. It's like kids, as soon as you get on the phone or something. Anyway, so I like my little bunny. He'll be in my living room in a display, and it will probably be under a closed shoe because the cats are this doesn't have wool on it, but I stuffed it all with fiberfill, but I put a little bit of sawdust in the bottom, and then I put fiberfill on top of it so that when I was sewing the whole piece to the bottom, the sawdust wouldn't come out. So it just gave it a little bit of weight, just a little bit of weight. Okay. The next thing I finished, if you watch Dottie's video, she had the exact same finish. This is from Noteworthy Needle, called Extravaganza. And are you leaving? Are you not home for dinner?
I'll be back later.
Okay.
A little bit.
Well, I'll just make it. It'll just be ready whenever you come back. Okay. Love you.
Love you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. This is a chart that we got last spring at a retreat at Panda's Crossing. So at Panda's Crossing retreats, she gives you fabric, floss, and finishing materials on most all of everything, of all the patterns you get. And you get probably 4 or 5 patterns. And I did this one. And I actually stitched the whole thing at the retreat and finished it. Now a couple years ago, I made some Easter eggs. They were stitched on black Aida. And I wanted to use some necktie silk I had that kind of looked like Easter eggy colors. And for the backing. So I had 2 pieces of cardboard I put together and then put some cording around it. Well, that made it kind of bulky. Well, Donna gives you instructions, step-by-step written instructions. And for this one, she gave you sticky board. And I know some people are anti-sticky board. I don't use it on big pieces that I think are like heirloom kind of pieces. But something like this, I'll use it on. But what you did, you had your pattern, you cut out your egg, and you cut it out in sticky board, and you cut it out in felt. Then on the non-sticky side of the sticky board, you put a little glue and you put your batting. Then you wrapped your stitching around it, got it centered and everything, and then just peeled a little bit off the back of the sticky board to reveal the sticky side. And so I just kind of did the top and the bottom and each side and went slowly and cut a little bit to help with the curves. And you can kind of see it through that felt, like it made it so flat. Like that's the best way to finish something like this. So you don't have 2 pieces of board. If you're going to use felt on the back, you don't have to wrap the felt. So after you use the sticky board, you just do reveal a little bit all around and you get it on there. Then you take all the paper off to reveal the whole sticky side. And then you put your rickrack around it and your hanger at the top. And then you put your piece of felt. And I added some glue around the edge where the sticky board was already covered up by my stitching. But this was so easy to finish. If I only did about half of those eggs, and if I stitch any more of those, that's how I'm going to finish them. Much easier. Now I won't be able to use my necktie fabric and stuff, but it was really, they didn't look that good. They did not finish up like a clean finish. Kind of live and learn, y'all. I guess we've all done that. Another finish I have, and I don't have the chart because I gave the chart away. It was called Autumn Fling, and it was by like, is it Lulu Stitches or Luhu Stitches? I think is who it was by. And it was autumn, and then there's 3 small charts for that. You had a small little piece you could hang underneath for September, October, November for the fall months. I stuffed this with sawdust. I love the way sawdust feels. It's kind of like a stress ball. Like I just want to squish it when I'm holding it. And I had planned I had this fall ribbon. It's almost like twine that I got from Hobby Lobby. It almost looks like paper, but it's not. It's like a fabric or ribbon. I don't know what you want to call it. And I thought the colors were perfect. But when you have to finish the ends, you almost have to knot it. I wasn't or glue it to hold that twist together. And I didn't want to do that. So what I did, no, I can't find it. Did the cat take it? Jeez. Oh, no, it's right here. If you get Lady Dot Creates pom-poms, if you're going to glue them on your seam, you cut them off. They come like this, hooked to this like little ribbon thing. And you can just cut them off of that ribbon thing, so you have your ribbon separate and your pom-poms. Well, this is really, I guess trash. But since I didn't want anything bulky on this pillow, that's the leftover ribbon off of the Lady Dot Creates pom-poms is what I used on the hem of this, because I wanted it to be just kind of, cover up my seam and add a little something without adding too much. I just, I like to do things a little more prim. I don't do a lot of bows and things like that. So, that's an idea. I liked it. I was happy with it. Very happy with it. All right. So the next thing that I finished, was a chart that was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. It was in the fall 2017 issue, and it was called Acorn Sampler by Nicoletta. I can't say that name. That's the name. And that's the chart. Well, I started stitching this back in September, right at the end of September. Pardon me, I'm going to need a drink of water. So sorry. Right at the end of September, it was going to be my small exchange for the Barefoot Needle Arts retreat in Myrtle Beach. Well, we had a little thing come at the end of September called Hurricane Helene. And our house lost power for 5 days. That was probably the average in our county. There were some people who lost their power for 12 or 14 days, some people 2 or 3 days. But when we lost power, we also lost water because our well, we're on a well. And, but all the family got together. Businesses were closed because they had no power. And my sister didn't have electricity at her house, but she had water because they're on city water and you don't need electricity. And my son and his wife, his family, they had water at their apartment. But, it was cold. It's freezing cold. But they didn't have power. This was going on for so long, we were losing all the food we had in our refrigerators and freezers. Well, everybody brought food over here. I'm the only one that had a grill because my sister's grill is like some kind of electric grill is what she has. And my son's grill is in storage because they're in between selling a house and buying a house and they can't have a grill at their apartment. So everybody brought food here and we grilled and we ate some weird combinations, but we ate good and we all spent time together. Like the kids thought it was the best time ever because we were just all hanging out together. Well, that's when I finished Gina's piece. And when I was done, I thought, man, I don't want to give it away because when I look at it, I think about the hurricane, and the hurricane was terrible, awful, especially for people in North Carolina, their loss of life and homes and things. But for my family, we made the best of a bad situation. And what I always used to tell the kids, if we were on vacation, something went wrong, like a car broke down or something, I'd say, we're just making memories. We're making memories because you remember the bad stuff more than you remember the good stuff. So I didn't do a small exchange at that retreat because I want to keep it. This is it. I finally fully finished it. I used the Lady Dot Creates pom-poms on this, and then the salvage or whatever went on the other piece. I changed this a little bit. If you look at the squirrels, their ears are more pointy and their tails are more pointy and everything. And I thought, they kind of look a little evil to me, the little evil squirrels. And I think squirrels is sweet, And so I modified it a little bit. I made their tails and their ears and fingers and toes. Well, I think the fingers and toes I left alone. But I Americanized them because just in the last 2 months, I saw a video, probably on Instagram, and it was a squirrel doing crazy things in their yard. And they were in England, and it was a red squirrel, and he had pointy ears and stuff. They looked so different from the squirrels we have here in the U.S. So anyway, I Americanized these squirrels is what I realized I did, and why the chart looked the way it did, because this is definitely I think it's like well, I don't know where their shop is. I can't say. So when I finished this, I thought, I always want to remember that I did it during the hurricane. So I stitched on the back. If I have it in a basket or something, you're not necessarily going to see that. But every time I pull it out every fall, I'm going to remember that I stitched this during Hurricane Helene, and it's going to remind me of the good time our family had together during a bad situation. This was stitched 2/2, and this is what the fabric was. I got this 32 count Murano. It's Zweigart based, and it's Artiste. They used to sell it at Hobby Lobby, and I got it when they were doing a closeout sale. So that's the fabric I used for that. I found a. You can go online and find all kinds of alphabets, cross stitch alphabets. I have books that have alphabets, and you can find another chart. I just wanted to do a back stitch alphabet. That's what that is. It's back stitched. All right, I have another finish. I have it, well, it's a start and a finish. For President's Day, I decided I wanted to start my I have 3 George Washington pieces. There's 2 by Plum Street Samplers. One is Nelson, and that's the brown horse that George Washington had, and the other's called Blueskin, and that depicts the white horse that he had. And he loved both his horses. The brown was a little less skittish in war and battle, is what they say. So this was a chart from Plum Street. I stitched it on, hold on, I've got it here. I should have pulled that out. Oh, I should know that. It's on 36 count Barb's Blend by R&R. And I finished him. I have a little mess up. This bottom branch right here is a little lower than it's supposed to be. I'm not even sure where my error was. I was so far along before I realized the error. So there's a couple leaves that are not on my tree, but no one's gonna know that. Unless one of you has stitched this before and you're like, hey, that's missing about 2 leaves. So I'm gonna make this into a pillow, and my idea is to put this one along with the other one, blue skin, in a basket or a bowl with a chart that I have of Mount Vernon that I got when I visited Mount Vernon last year, the year before. I also started the other one, blue skin. And it's on the same fabric, 36 count, Barb's Blend by R&R. And this is how far I am. I'm using all the called for threads. And then in case you didn't see my last video, I'll just show you real quick. Oh, this is what the Mount Vernon chart. I know there's one that came out at market, but I bought this one at Mount Vernon, and so that's kind of the one I want to stitch. Even though I really do like the other one. And the busts of George and Martha. I do like those. This is what the cat was playing with. Okay. All right. So I do have some other whips I want to share with you. And this one, I'm not sure if I worked on it after I made my last video, but I did do some things on it to prepare for it. So I'll share that with you. And this is a Brenda Gervais pattern. Santa Stops Here. I love that stone house. And you see it says Candy House, Candy Haus. Yeah, making it German. Well, ever since I saw this pattern, it makes me think of a historical home in my hometown. It's the oldest home in our county, and it's a good example of German architecture. Let's see, I think I did. It's called Schifferstadt. So I'm going to show you, this is a picture of Schifferstadt. And that's in my hometown. And it was built in 1758. It's one of the nation's finest examples of German Georgian colonial architecture. And it was named after the owner's hometown in Southwest Germany. It's called Schifferstadt. Well, when I saw this, I thought Schifferstadt. It's, needs one more window in the middle there instead of the wreath, but I'm going to do the wreath. But I'm going to change Candy House to say Schifferstadt, so that it's something personal to me. And I only have to go something like 4 or 5 stitches wider to fit in that word. And it's 51 spaces long. I just jotted out on graph paper one day. So this is my piece. This is where I am so far. And like I said, I'm not sure if I stitched any on this since I showed it to you, but I definitely did work and chart that word, that Schifferstadt word. You can see I started my house because I think I started over here actually and worked my way over. and it's one row up, but I'm just going to put an extra row on those steps or walkway or whatever it is. No one's going to know that either. I mean, if it's not a huge mistake, there's no need to, oh, cat. There's no need to redo it. Not in my book anyway. No way, Jose. All right, I'm not sure when I'm going to get back to that, but I want to. Now that I've tried that out, I just really want to finish it. This is another whip, and I'm pretty sure, oh my goodness. They're trying to get to a bug that's outside the window through the blinds. They only do this when nobody's home. They sleep all day, and when you come home, they just get into mischief. Anyway, I believe I stitched some on this Winter Rose Manor. You all have seen this chart. Other people have stitched, I'm sure, many times. But I really love it. I really wanted to get this thing, make some good progress on it. I made pretty good progress. But it's going to go away for a while. I didn't pull my March whip go pulls to show you. My pulls for, let's see, hold on. February, we're standing stops here in Winter Rose Manor. So that's why I kind of focused on those. My March pulls are Lincoln's Eagle by Teresa Kogut, and then Any Christmas Ornament. So I will be working on those. I have another chart that I started, and this is for a small exchange for the retreat I'm going to this weekend. I'm going to the Nonstop Stitching Retreat in Duncan, South Carolina, which is near Spartanburg. And I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I thought about stitching a Christmas ornament for my small exchange, and then it would be cover two birds with one stone, it would also be my whip go. But I have Christmas ornaments I need to do for family, so I'm not going to use that as this is my whip go. This is another chart that I got out of the spring issue. I think it's 2020, it says. Spring issue of Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. And this is a chart called Spring Hair Etching from Cecilia Turner of Heart and Hand. Y'all have seen this before. And I am stitching this on, I don't know, it's just an off-white even weave, and I'm pretty sure, well, I know it's 28 count because this came with a project that I think I didn't stitch from one of the retreats at Panda's Crossing. And when she gives you your kit, you have a choice of either 14 count Aida or 28 count linen or even weave, because the finishing things will be the same size, and she gives you pieces to finish. So although I don't normally stitch on 28 count, I am for this. And I chose my own colors though. Using hickory sticks, old brick, and grasshopper. Now the chart only has 2 colors, but I'm going to make the leaves and stems of the flowers green, which makes it, I know, a little less etching-like, but I liked it, and the way I want to finish it, I think the green will look better. So I did this in just, like no time. Last night I spent maybe 45 minutes on it or something, so I'll probably get this done tonight. I'll have to have it done by Saturday morning, which that won't be a problem. That won't be a problem. I didn't show you my book of days. February I did quite a bit of stitching. Let's see, 1, I think, 1, 2, 3, 5 days I didn't stitch in the month. And then March so far, I haven't didn't fill in last night. But I already have 2 days, no, 3 days that I didn't stitch because I was doing stuff with family, or I didn't feel good. I had a bad cold and stuff. So anyway, let me get on with the giveaways, shall we? I want to try and make this video a short one so that I can get it uploaded. The last video I made was like about an hour long. It took 24 hours to upload. I've never had that happen before. Never, ever. I don't know if it was some kind of glitch, but I was afraid to stop it, that it would have to start all over. And sure enough, it finally worked its way out. So I'm going to try and keep them shorter. That was my goal anyway. And I had too much. I had too many antique purchases and other things that took up time. Things that I should have shown previously and didn't. So anyway, we had to give away in that last video. And you had to use the word winter. And the giveaway was this Little House Needleworks chart with partial floss. And the winner of this chart is Jody Lynn 30. So Jody, if you see this, I need you to email me your name, because I'm guessing, maybe Lynn is your last name. Maybe you're related to Loretta. Who knows? Anyway, but send me your full name and your mailing address, and I will get this chart out to you. We have another giveaway, and it is this is from Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's called Garden Party. And it's got these 4 little charts, and I just thought they were really cute. And it's got most of the flosses. Now, I think they all use hickory sticks for the dashes in between here, and I don't have that in here, but almost all the other colors are. You'll see. If it's written on the tag like hickory sticks, it means it took almost a skein, I guess, which I can't believe it. That color would. Maybe it's also the body of the bugs, the insects. I don't know. But you have almost all the flosses that you need there. And this is called Garden Party. So let's use the word garden. If you're interested in this chart, just comment below. Please be a subscriber and like the video, and be over 18 and all those things that I always forget to say, and use the word garden. Tell me if you all have a garden. I was a master gardener. Well, I guess I still am a master gardener, but in 2019 in the spring, I hurt my back, and it kind of put me out of commission in the garden. And I still do a little bit, but not like I used to at all. I was out there all the time. And that's when I picked up stitching, when I hurt my back. So, but I'm going to try this year to do a little bit of gardening. Now, most everybody says, oh, I have some tomato plants. Tomatoes are not easy. Mine always get blossom end rot. And I've tried all the tricks you're supposed to try. I installed my own drip irrigation, and in my raised beds, I did a lot. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in my garden. But I love to get, a lot of the cold weather crops are really my favorites. I love to have lettuces and radishes and collards, which I never knew what collards were until I got married. And then I grew some and cooked them, and they were really good if you like greens. But I'll probably throw out some zucchini. I've never had luck with cucumbers. My parents' house, like when I was growing up, it's like we just threw some seeds out there put some little plants in a mound. And we had tons of cucumbers. I don't know what I've done wrong. I really don't. And I have plenty of pollinators out there. But really, I plant a lot of flowers. I kind of switched from vegetables to flowers because they're less maintenance. And when I would grow the vegetables, nobody would eat them but me. My kids are all picky. My son won't hardly touch a vegetable of any kind, unless it's a French fry. He thinks macaroni and cheese is a vegetable. But anyway. I'm going to try and do some gardening. And zinnias, I'm telling you, zinnias are so easy. If y'all do nothing else, plant a little patch of zinnias, and they will bloom from, early summer through the fall until you get frost. And I have a video. I need to look and see if I can find it and maybe post it on Instagram, or maybe even post it here as like an extra. It was one day I went and I just put a chair in the middle of my garden. In my garden, the raised beds are inside a chain link fence that's maybe 20 feet by 20 feet. It was here when we moved in. I don't know if they had kids or dogs in there, what I tell everybody, but the poles are in concrete, so it was a major thing to get it up. So we just left it, and it's great because it keeps deer out of my garden. But I just sat down there, and the butterflies were all over me. They were landing on me. They were everywhere because they love those zinnias. And we'll have some swallowtails. I don't know that I've ever seen a monarch, but the ones that look similar to a monarch, but they're yellow, and also the blue ones, I think they're swallowtails. A lot of those, just a lot of all kinds of different kinds of butterflies. Plant that and just see what happens. Even if you plant them in a pot, I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. It's just like, I felt like Snow White out there is what I felt like, with all these butterflies just flying around me and landing on me. It was pretty cool. But anyway, tell me if y'all garden. Use the word garden, and see if you can win this chart. And Jody Lynn, give me your address. If I didn't tell you, my email is southernyankeestitcher@gmail.com. I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.